Welcome to the beautiful Engadine Valley. We're 1,775 meters above sea level in the Swiss Alps in St. Moritz, the home of winter sliding, the home of winter sports. Good morning, everybody. Wherever you are, I guarantee your day is going to struggle to be as good as any day here at this historic ice track, the only natural track in the business. And we're here for race 5 of the Wiesmann FIBT Men's Skeleton World Cup. Martin Haven, John Morgan watching the action as 29 starters vie for 20 places in the second heat. And John, history at every turn on this St. Moritz track.
The names on these curves have been around for over 100 years ago, most of them, and it's just like what Yankee Stadium is to baseball, what Monte Carlo is to Formula One, what Wimbledon is to tennis, St. Moritz is to the bobsled and skeleton sports. Real quick start area. That curve comes up pretty quick. Speed here now, a long straightaway into what they call the wall. The wall goes for about 100 meters and starts right about here. And it just can't make any mistakes up here. Got to be very, very quiet, and then it'll exit into a snake. Go a little quick right to the left. And you got to be clean, can't tap. Now into sunny, big, sweeping right. Now into the Nash Dixon, named after the British guys who won the gold medal at the '64 Olympic Games in bobsledding in Innsbruck. Now into the most famous curve in the world, horseshoe. Exit with a slingshot effect. Now you come down. Telephone. Now watch all these names. Devil's Dyke, the nameless curve. I still haven't figured out why they call it nameless. Into the bridge curve, big pressure down here, speeds. You get up there 80 miles an hour. Gunther Sachs, named after the famous European industrialist. Now into the Portago, the Martineau corner. Portago, named after the founder of the St. Moritz Bobsleigh Skeleton Club 100 years ago. Finish. What a tradition here, Martin. What a pleasure it is for the athletes to compete.
Yes, it is. Fantastic track and a fantastic environment. Track record, incidentally, set by Great Britain's Jack Thomas on the 15th of January this year. They build the track new every year. It's subtly different, and it always changes. Martin St. Thomas Ducourse leading the World Cup rankings, the two Latvians. Young Axel Junk of Germany lies third in the standings, ahead of Matt Antoine of the USA. Matthias Guggenberger and Dom Parsons giving chase. Been a lot of new names coming up in training, up towards the top of the pile. Sun Bin-yun of Korea looking very fast. Matt Antoine of the USA looking very fast. Kilian von Schleinitz, the Bavarian rookie, also looking quick. Zach Lund on the left-hand side there, the US coach, picked me up this morning about our little preview to the race. He said, "You didn't mention the race winner." I said, okay, so he's got his money on his boy Matt Antoine. Down there in the start area, sleds being checked before they are prepared. Thomas Ducourse is the first man off the hill, and he goes first for the second race in succession. Ran into snow last week in Koenigsee and dropped from the lead to 8th position. And there are 29 sliders, and for everybody below about 15th place, the battle is to get into the top 20. Thomas Ducourse kicks off proceedings here in St. Moritz at this historic bobsleigh and skeleton track. Race 5 in the Wiesmann FIBT World Cup campaign.
Thomas, good training times all week. He bested his brother Martins. This is a very different animal to those refrigerated tracks, and it's so long, Martin. To hear the athletes talk, it's 49 seconds last week at Koenigsee. Here it's a minute 10, it's 20 seconds more. It's almost like 40% longer.
And it's so quiet. You have to be so still on your sled, barely even thinking your way through the corners, and that's a big difference after Altenburg and Koenigsee, which are very busy drivers' tracks.
Horseshoe.
Looking at the speeds here down the track, 98.8 kilometers an hour, 61.5 miles an hour. But now's where they really start to accelerate hard into 3 figures.
So quiet.
And the athletes as well, it's spookily silent. None of that rumbling you get off the artificial tracks. 134 kilometers now, 83.5 miles an hour.
Not a track record, though.
No.
Not even close. Yeah, he's almost a full second off the track record. So I don't think we're going to see any track records today. Maybe in the second run when it gets warmer.
Thomas, a little faster in training than most, but off a 2,200-second slower start. Sunbin Young matched him yesterday in the final day. It was snowing yesterday, so that didn't really help the speeds much.
Well, here's Nash and Dixon, the straightaway into horseshoe, pivotal part of the track, slingshot effect. You want to hit this perfect and accelerate out of here to the high speeds on the bottom part of this super speedway.
-6 air temperature, gets very cold at 80 miles an hour down the bottom. Hiro Takahashi, the 30-year-old from Nagano in Japan, 12th, 11th, 7th, 9th his results this season. Start record 484 set last weekend in the Europa Cup races here as well by Fabian Keusler of Germany.
Hey, good season so far for Takahashi, 7th in World Cup points. Very much a student of the sport. And of course, his guru in the deal is Kazumiro Koshi, the legendary coach out of Japan who retired after the 2010 Olympics.
Incidentally, talking about retired, Gregor Staley, former international slider and Olympic and world medalist.
Mistake there.
He's one of the forerunners here.
Yeah, 2007 world champion on this track. Yep. Also the 1994 world champion. I think he's the, he represents
three times.
Yeah. But to win 13 years apart the world championships tells you what kind of talent he had.
I was saying to the other coaches that they ought to be sly. We need to have a coaches race.
No, we don't. No, we don't. No, we don't. No, we don't.
Old men on sleds. 133.7, just a whisker slower. And a 109 at 54. Normally, if you're a 1 minute at anything on a track, you're really in big trouble. Here, that's a relatively respectable time.
It takes 20 seconds to come up the outrun where they stop. Of course, you can see a lot of people, they have problems stopping here, and it ends right up there. Yeah. So you better be slow. And look at the technique. Look at the hands. Look at the fingers. Just like a sprinter, they reach, then they get on. Look at the eyes. You have to get on quickly and get around that first curve. Watch the mistake here between Nash and Dixon. This little tap. He's trying to get over to get on the take onto the curve. Watch him tap, and that is just cost you.
Don Parsons of Great Britain, 27-year-old, ex-400-meter runner, and again, his hand on the handle right over the groove. That's the safest way of starting. See where he's got 493, the fastest, 483.
Start record.
Bad luck, Jack Thomas, I know you're watching. Well, your record lasted 2 sliders.
But again, it's a track that's built every year. The new track record starts off as the first guy comes down the track.
A little later than we normally start, John. Often we start races here at 8 a.m. So the track's a little warmer, going to get faster and faster as the day goes on, though.
Right. Dominic had some good training times, and to be 2,500s ahead here, the pivotal part of the track. Let's see how high he gets. Pretty good.
Temptation there is to be right up by the woodwork.
Good speed, though.
So hard to judge. 99.1, fastest we've had so far. 61.6 miles an hour.
Still holding his advantage.
134.6 down at the fast three right.
Could be 135.
Could be. It's a really nice looking run from
there. It is.
Well, Richard Bromley is here. I know Kristen is watching at home, and Shelley Rudman, and new baby there as well. 108.71, that's a big
Eric Bernotis, the coach, likes it. Boy, anytime that Don Parsons comes down and beats Thomas Dukars by 37/100ths of a second, that's a great run.
Anytime you beat a Dukars, you're having a really good run. That's a great run from him. Richard Bromley was very confident this morning. They found a great setup on the sled. And by the way, congratulations to Kristen and Shelley and their latest arrival. So Don Parsons of Great Britain, our race leader. 3 of our 29 sleds down. Next up is young sensation Nikita Tregibov of Russia. One of 9 rookies in the field. This is only his 3rd World Cup race.
He might be the most impressive upstart in the field.
Well, he was 6th in the Olympic Games before he'd even slid one race in the World Cup.
Yeah, they put him in the role that nobody knew about him. And he's only like 20, right? He's 20 years old?
19 years old.
19 years old. This is the new Russian rocket. This kid has been impressive all week long in training. He was impressive last week in Königssee.
He's clearly got a really good feel for the ice. He's got good speed at the start, but that's not enough. This kid really can drive. Lying there doing absolutely nothing.
He's stopped the bleeding, as we say. 23 to 2400s, 99.7. That's fastest speed. This is what he was doing in training.
Here we go.
On the bottom part of the track, this is where he started to fly.
Closes the gap, 135.5 for Don Parsons. Is he going to be up to 136?
No, lost time back.
Slower, so little skid. Those fast three right-handers, very tricky to keep the speed up.
Still second best time, and considering the start time.
Well, he was ahead of Thomas Ducours at the start. He's ahead of Thomas Ducours at the bottom as well.
700ths off of Don Parsons at the start and 20-something down below. All things being equal, look at the line, look at the feet, look at him left toe dragging, trying to steer the exit. That was a little uncomfortable at the top, but of course you do have to steer.
I think this is his second trip to St. Moritz, so still got lots to learn. Matthias Guggenberger of Austria, the 30-year-old from Innsbruck. 9th, 8th, 7th and 10th his results so far this season. Again, single-handed push with the weight, in this case, away from the runner that's in the groove.
Very interesting to see way different strategies, the way the athletes set up. Left runner, right push, right, left. It's the one-handed push, like the Fonsbury flop and in high jump, the guy going over backwards. The one-handed push, the Canadians brought that in about 2005. And it sort of used to be a two-handed push. Nash and Dixon.
Talking to some of the first-time athletes and saying, you know, first trip down the track, they're just sightseeing, they're just looking around going, wow, look at this place.
Ooh, real high, a lot of scratching.
Up in the frost.
Yeah, no speed. 96.8, one of the worst of the speeds, so this isn't the heat that Matthias Guggenberger would want to have.
Talking to Matthias Ducours after training yesterday, he was saying it's hard on this track because sometimes you're so in the flow, you kind of suddenly realise you're not concentrating, and the speed's down at the bottom here, 80+ miles an hour. That can be pretty dangerous. 109.99, 5th place for him.
Martin Rettel, coach looks on, knows that's not what he wanted out of his athlete. He just never had it at the start.
Yep.
He never, so obviously equipment set up. He's got the experienced driving ability, but didn't show there. Look how high he is here, and boy, we heard a lot of scratching to get off the curve. Look at these compelling pictures. The exit probably too far to the right side there.
A little high, hit the wall, and Don Parsons of Great Britain is our leader after 5 sleds in the first heat. World Cup points leader Matthias Ducours of Latvia, 6th of our starters. First, and second are the results for the 30-year-old this season. St. Moritz in Switzerland, Martin Haven, John Morgan watching the action with you. Oh, and a new start record.
Struggled in training. It's going to be interesting. He admitted it. How you doing? Not good. Exeter horseshoe he's talking about.
Didn't find the rhythm, didn't find the settings he wanted on the sled, but race day is always where he brings his A game.
Should be 600-800s there. That's expected 11. Now, of all things being equal, he should be 13 or 1400s on the Exeter horseshoe if he gets the speed that Don Parsons had, which was
over 99.
Gonna need that.
Look at him steering with the head only.
No scratching.
100.3 kilometers an hour.
Hello.
62.5 miles an hour with his chin on the ice. And
now he's blown away.
Give it a try. Stunning run from Matthias Ducours, the Latvian in really good form.
136 probably. 1:36.3, and he just does what he always does. Gets to the bottom with the fastest time of the day. Ooh, look at the coaches, they know, hey. But you know, this is what the guy does. He's got first, second last week. He had a little bit of hip cup. That's why they call him Superman. I mean, it's unbelievable. The percentage of races he's won in the last 5 years.
Yeah.
Another day at the office.
It's much easier to note the ones he hasn't won, and that tells you everything about it. So look, blowing on his hands, it's so cold on the track.
He's the athlete that he is at the start. Now look, he's running in the left side. Our pictures on our left, and get in, get down.
Just, I mean, the way he lands like a feather. It's, you know, really
quiet on the sled. He's so quiet on the sled.
Well, we had a new start record from Martin Stukors. That could be busted right now as 29-year-old Russian rocket Alexander Tretiakov gets off. World and Olympic champion, won his world title here.
There it is. Looking by 900s. Now, he won the 2013 World Championships on this track with four electrifying runs. Stukors just did everything, but he couldn't catch him because he got beat by 900s at the start.
Two World Cup records, 2 World Cup starts this year. He's been third in Altenburg and won last week in Königsberg.
Look at, he's already lost it back, though. Lost everything back. He's going to have speed. He's going to be lucky to get 99-kilometer speed here with those times.
Noise from the road beside the track. The Cresta Run also runs down this same little sliver of the valley.
Yeah, 97, one of the worst speeds.
That is the slowest we've seen apart from Manchester-Guggenberg. So nothing wrong with the running, but the setup is way off.
Setup or made mistake, maybe. It seemed like he made a lot of turning in curve one. Something happened because
long skid all the way down that straight. His hips were out sideways, just drifted all the way down.
This might be the worst run we've seen from this athlete in a couple years. Wow, something happened.
Now he's either gone too aggressive on the setup and just can't keep the sled quieted up, and it's sliding
with that
too much,
start time, he should have been 15, 20 hundredths ahead after Sonny, and he was plus after Sonny, plus 10 or 12. So something happened here at the start. Let's see if out of the grooves, if he takes a skid into this first curve, something happened here. Because the track record at the start, for him to throw it all away in the first 300 meters, look at that. That's expected after curve one. So I guess that was all good, but we couldn't see where he lost it. Martin, you might be right. Might have been set up.
Christopher Gronehair of Germany, just 22 years old, third in the World Cup rankings at the moment. A soldier from Wernigerode, 15th, 14th, 12th, 11th, making progress. Needs to really start hitting those top 10 marks, though. 495 getaway. And the company of Stukors and Tretiakov, that's a slow start in everybody else's eyes. That's a very good start.
He's had some decent results. Part of the young German guns that are across the German program.
Always looks a little maudlin. Very rare you actually see him smile, but he does love this sliding.
He's going to really have to stop the bleeding at the next curve. He's going to need 98.5 change to have a speed here.
Nice line into horseshoe and straight out.
Good, there's 98.5. So that's, he should stop the bleeding here. He should keep it 55, 60 at the next clock. He's got good form. Oh, he's lost more time. Now he's going to struggle to get anywhere near the 99, 98 mile an hour, or 90 down here. He's got no chance. 135.
It's going to be 5th or 6th position.
5th, he beat
ahead of Tretiakov.
Tretiakov by 400s.
Can't argue with that. Tretiakov winner last week, the Olympic champion behind you. That's always a good thing.
Especially the first time he's ever beat Tretiakov.
Well, in the last few years, definitely, yeah. Gronehair Wilson in the World Cup when Tretiakov was starting gangbusters and finishing all but last.
Look at the pictures in horseshoe, his toe, look at his left toe, steered, and he came out too far onto the left side.
Not a bad exit, like I said. Rare you see a real smile from Christopher Gronehair. Teammate Axel Jung, the 23-year-old former junior world champion next up. 4th, 5th, 4th, and 7th. What a good season this young man is having. Okay, 2012 junior world title. and a World Cup rookie.
Pretty good what he's doing this year. Coming out of the blocks, look at that. He's only 100th down to Dukars. That's a great start. Good, you know, but he's still 50.2 is 0.3 of a kilometer down at the start speed, which is, remember we talked about Dukars skating on the sled like a feather. That entry onto the sled allows you to accelerate. If you put too much pressure down, that doesn't allow you to accelerate, and it diminishes your start speed.
Duka's also a bigger, heavier athlete, and that allows him to push a slightly lighter sled, so when he loads, he carries more momentum. Into horseshoe, nice high line, big toe steer to get the line on the exit that he wanted. Haven't seen much heavy contact with the wall.
Better speed than his teammate who just came down, but with the start that he had, he's like time all the way down the track. But it's his first World Cup here, so we can't. He's been on the Europa Cup here, I'm sure, a few times. Good young slider, though.
Speeds are not bad at all. Not the very best.
Top 4, that's great.
Right in there.
Bet you it's the first time he's ever beat Trepchikov. Of course, it's in his early stage of his career, but hey, I beat the Russian Rocket.
Any day you beat the Russian Rocket is a good day. Beat Thomas Dukurs as well. Dukurs not off the podium until last week when he hit the snow in the final run, when he looked certain to win.
Look at the toes here. He gets in, he starts to panic. Look at that foot come down. We heard a loud, Martin, you brought that point up, a loud noise, and he's still not comfortable on the exit.
Well, everybody wants to run it as high and dive off as steeply as they can. Use that altitude. Matt Antoine of the USA, 10th of our starters, Olympic bronze medalist from Prairie du Chien, Wisconsin. 3rd, 6th, 15th, and 3rd again last week in Koenigsegg. Now, can he get into the medals, and could this be a big win for him?
Matt's a tall athlete, long.
Well, his advantage here, if he gets a nice long straightaway, is going to start to come off horseshoe and down in the fast corners at the bottom. That long, slender aerodynamic frame will really pay off.
Well, the key is listening to the sounds in horseshoe. With Dukars, we didn't hear any sound. He didn't steer with his toes. He had his body lean and hit it perfectly. Listen for the sound.
A little left going in.
A lot of sound, a lot of scratching. Speed, 98. Yep, low 98. So he's going to fight for a top 5, but Martin, he's got still 20 more seconds to perfect aerodynamic bullet form here. And
what's it? Chirruping along, and I don't think that's the chin piece of the helmet. That's his toes just tapping on the ice.
Boy, speed's way off. Fighting for a top 8.
Yeah, he's going to be in 8th position ahead of Hiro Takahashi and Matthias Guggenberger.
Zach Lund
looks not what Zach Lund was expecting.
That wasn't the training times that he had. He was up there in the top 4 or 5 in training a couple days in a row.
Again, when the ice changes so much overnight with the temperature, you get a very different racetrack. Everybody knows that they had to ignore yesterday's training results and concentrate on what had happened when the track was fast and icy. It's Martins Dukurs of Latvia who leads from Dom Parsons, and rookies Nikita Tregobov and Axel Jung. 10 down, 19 to go. So Moritz in Switzerland, stop 5 in the FIBT Skeleton World Cup. Martin Haven, John Morgan watching as rookie Kilian von Schlanitz from Bavaria heads off at the top of the track. 11th of our 29 starters, the 20-year-old, 17th, 12th, 9th, and 6th last week on his home track in Berchtesgaden.
Another young German slider. I mean, what's he, 19? He looks about 12.
Yeah.
Hello, Matthew and Klein. 494.
The wall just keeps left. Now this little snake, quick right, left, sunny curve. Nash and Dixon, named after the 2 British bobsledders who won the '64 Olympic Games gold medal in Innsbruck. And now the most famous curve in the world, horseshoe, telephone, devil's. It's just unbelievable. These names have been around for 100 years.
Picking up speed now. He was 11th at the start. He's up to 9th place. Great aerodynamic form this kid has got. Speed down the bottom, he needs 134s to get himself into the top half dozen. 133.5. Where's he going to be at the line? Inside the top 10, but will he pick up any more spots?
Ninth.
Ninth place it is, behind Matt Antoine. This track very hard to get a handle on. It's a natural track, it's built by hand every year on the same path, but only 2 corners actually have a wall to build them on, Sunny and Horseshoe. The rest vary slightly year to year.
Long straightaway into the most famous curve in the world, Horseshoe, and then the toes. Let's take a look at his left toe.
Little low line, and that
Yeah,
could
not
work.
bad, not bad, but no speed.
A lot of these rookies, first time here. Dave Krajcechin raced here in Europa Cup a couple of seasons back for Canada. 33-year-old from Toronto, former rugby player.
Love the hat. Helmet. Oh, struggled there.
Yeah. It's once you
Boys,
get a little weave going.
49 kilometers. That's a full kilometer and a half down after curve 1. That's, boy, that's just, you can't make that up. You can't gain time on the way down. You can only prevent yourself from losing time. Big misconception of the sport. It's not like you can put your foot down on the gas pedal and accelerate. You have to use what Mother Nature gives you and maximize it.
Horseshoe nice and clean.
Decent speed for the mistake he made in the exit curve 1.
So picking up speed. That's all the potential energy. Mother Nature helping him along here. 12th at the start, up to 11th place. Is this going to end up being a top 10 slide?
Speed on the left, 135.3.
Good
Well,
speed. Quicker than the last couple we've seen. In fact, quicker than anybody apart from Martin
That's a good
Stuckles
run.
and Don Parsons.
anytime you start off with the 12th best start and finish 8th means you maximized what the track gave you down below.
Nice quiet run. 135.5 kilometers an hour. That's 3rd or 4th best speed down at the bottom, and that's where you pick up those spots.
Big, long athlete. Watch his toes. Look at his left come up. A little rudder action there. And now let's cross over into the next curve.
Diving down into telephone.
There used to be a telephone there.
Yeah, we need to start a fund to bring it back, definitely. Raphael Meyer of Austria, 22-year-old. Brother Benny will be racing in a bobsleigh race. Younger brother Sammy, now 15, also sliding skeleton at Innsbruck.
And the big kahuna in the family, his father is here. He's the development coach for Austria, Manfred Bayer. First time we've seen him, he's been out working. But the Austrians have certainly fueled their development program. They've got a lot of people driving bobsleds, a lot of the skeleton, junior skeleton programs. And it's nice to see Austria because they are one of the major powers in the sport, fallen off a little bit in the last few years.
Yeah, they've had a bit of a flatlining effect over the last few seasons, and they really need to bring these young guys in.
They used to dominate skeleton. In fact, all the former Austrians who were successful in this sport, Andy Schmidt, development director for the British program. You can go on and on and on and find 2 or 3 other Austrian athletes in some coaching position.
97.9, not great speed. And as a result, he's still in 13th place where he started. What can he find at the bottom? 134, 133.9, not quite there.
The Austrians just don't have it on this track. I bet you there's Martin Retta, look, not very happy. I think Raphael will have all he can do to get in that top 20, but I do think he'll make the top 20.
Should do on that slide.
Both Austrians are 12th and 13th. That's not like they did the week before. Look at these pictures in a Horseshoe at 70 miles an hour. Now watch him cross over. You want to be in the middle. You want to be in the middle. That's great. He crossed over there
nice line.
Perfectly.
Just couldn't find the speed down at the bottom. So Sergei Chudinov of Russia, the 31-year-old now from Chusavoy, 5th in the Winter Games. Only started in the World Cup like his A-Stream teammates when it came to Europe. 6th in Altenburg, 15th last weekend in Koenigsegg. Bit of a minor disaster for him.
Scratching there, watch the speed, 50.2.
See him pick his feet up off the ice there.
49.8.
Get his knees in.
When you have a scratch skid like that, be it curve 1, and then you only got that less than 50-kilometer speed, 30 miles an hour speed, that is an albatross that's tough to overcome.
Fast starter, 488, but
no speed, no start speed. You have a choice of the best start time or the best start speed after curve 1. Give me that start speed every time.
5th fastest start. He's down to 8th place at the moment. Let's see if he can use horseshoe. Look at him bending the whole body.
Yeah, a lot of shoulders.
Shoulders, knees, and toes being used.
Pretty good speed, though.
Yeah. Now, did he really get that late apex and dive down hard? Is the speed going to pick up? Up to 7th place.
It's not bad. This is for considering the start speed and mistake he made up there. This is not bad.
If he gets 135s, he'll be into the top 6. 134.5. Still might make it.
He's about 6th now.
Top 6 run.
Beautiful.
Yes, it is.
Well, he made a statement here. He's been, used to be Russia too, but this new Russian.
Yeah, and Nikita Tregobov is edging to be Russia 1 at the moment, ahead of even the Olympic champion.
Well, he's the top Russian.
Yeah, he definitely
Tretiakov is an 8th.
Yeah, Tretiakov.
So he beat Tretiakov too.
Tretiakov and Martin Stukos really struggling. Look at this, the whole body is
Look at
like
the
a banana.
steering.
From the head leaning left to the toe, left toe dragging out.
And his left toe's outside the sled frame, so he had a lot of body movement there.
And then having to steer again right to avoid the wall in telephone. Overdriving it. Now then, this could be the big day for 20-year-old Korean Son Bin-young. Already had one of those this year with a bronze medal, Korea's first ever winter sliding medal in Calgary. But this kid trained so fast, 4.77.
Big speed on the exit of curve 1. Wow. He was doing this in training. He wasn't winning training by a 10th or 15th. Some heats he was 25, 30 hundredths ahead.
Yeah. Talking to his coaches, and Richard Bromley was saying he really gets it. He says, you tell him to do something, he does it perfectly.
Wow.
Really just...
The Korean approach to sports, look what they've done in women's golf. They own the global landscape there.
And listen, all but silent, same as Duclos, 600s up
Big
now.
speed, good speed.
Very good speed. Only Martin Duclos, the race leader, has been faster.
Now it's dead heat, so he's losing a little bit of time back, but that's okay. This looks like top 3 easy.
Needs 136 to win this run.
134. He's going to stay at least in the top 2 or 3, at least.
Second at the line, perhaps. He is second at the line.
Oh, yeah. Lost a little time on the bottom. That's okay, Richard Bromley.
Yeah.
I'll take that.
A little frustrated there with the speed ebbing away on the faster parts of the track. And that means guaranteed there'll be a little bit of adjustment in the second heat. Well, he's a great athlete at the start. I mean, look at the width of those quads.
Now look where, yeah. He's a big man.
He's a monster.
Speed, look at that. Only tied with Tretiakov for speed. Was way off at the start, but I tell you, Tretiakov even made a mistake because his start, his time was gone.
Son Bin-young of Korea challenging here. Will be a great run in the second heat to try and win this race in St. Moritz.
Come on, Gal.
15 of our 29 slide this down. From here on now, the real pressure is to make the race. And for 33-year-old Kyle Tres from Lambertsville, New Jersey, his runs this year, 13th, 13th, and in Europe, 20th, and a disastrous 25th in Koenigsegg last week. He's got to put that behind him.
Yeah, Kyle just is inconsistent. And it's not like he's a rookie. Not like he hasn't seen these tracks before.
It's when you lose the rhythm of your swing as a golfer. It's the same deal. Talking to Nick Cunningham, the US bobsled driver yesterday, and he said, I'd settle for 2 very average runs now, as long as they were close to each other, instead of 1 half decent and 1 real rubbish one. And that's, you know, you get that little spark of confidence and it all comes back. Late in Nash and Dixon, late into Horseshoe, steering hard in telephone. Speed's ebbing away, he's not got the flow.
Heard so much scratching up top before he got to Horseshoe and in Horseshoe. When you're dragging your toes, creating friction. Friction will result in the loss of speed. And speed on this high speed track, the super speedway, like they would say in NASCAR.
Yeah, this is the Daytona of sliding, isn't it? Fast, long, and the real jewel in the crown. 1:10.53, that's the first 1:10 slide we've had in this race.
I don't think Kyle will make the cut with that. I think some people come down and beat him. Yeah. He knows it.
Yeah. It's getting that confidence back to be able to relax enough on the sled.
Nash and Dixon. Now watch him come to the left side or this comes to the right side. Right side. Look, there's a tap.
Skids,
that's wrong.
The wall.
That's wrong. That's it. Don't need to say anything else.
Yeah, his face says it all. Next up, Mattia Gaspari. Like the Russians, the Italians only joined the World Cup in Europe. 14th and 13th so far this season. Still just 21 years old, Gaspari, so lots of development potential.
14th best start. You want to come out here with people who can really, really fly at the start. And that 49.4. He's a kilometer 0.4 down at start speed. In a sport measured to the hundredths of seconds, that's almost a mile an hour down in the first 100 meters. That's not good. Now he has to be absolutely quiet on the sled. We don't want to hear any scratching. Let's listen to the sound here. Let's hear the scratching.
Nice quiet run into horseshoe now. Quiet. Can he find speed here? Notice he hasn't got his heels together. He's using his knees quite a lot on the sled to stop it weaving from side to side.
Yeah,
that never stopped Katie Uhlaender being quick, did it? Not having her heels together. It's how you ride the sled, whatever works for you. 1:32, not the greatest speed, but it'll move him up from 15th position at the line, I think. Yeah, 15th now in front of Matthias Guggenberger and Kyle Tress.
It's going to be right on the bubble for making the cut as I look down this field.
Yeah, we're going to send nearly a third of the athletes back to the changing room after the first heat, where 29 will become 20. So making the cut, as in golf, is the first day priority.
Well, it's like his feet just collided right there.
Smart from Gaspari. He's got at least 2 sliders behind him at the moment. Next up is Ed Smith of Great Britain, the electrician from Bristol. Really struggling with injury all season long. He has a mass of tape holding him together, essentially. Did one run in training yesterday to try and keep himself in one piece for the start. He says, every time I have a full ball start, it just adds to the injury, and he's in all sorts of agony. 5:17. He should be quarter of a second faster.
Look at these feet coming out, and Ed's going to struggle down here to get any kind of a decent time.
Well, early in the season, it was a toss-up whether to stay on tour or go home and get surgery. And they decided to stay. Of course, British Skeleton in rich health at the moment. Their Olympic successes, their World Championship successes. They've brought in a lot of lottery funding. A massive development program.
Massive development in the bobsled program also.
Yeah, absolutely.
Britain, they're very successful at this sport.
Stepped up another gear in the bobsleigh program this year, particularly. Ed Smith in 18th place at the moment.
And his teammates right now is in 3rd, and I don't think he'll get knocked out of 3rd in this rest of this run.
And Ed should be, this is good speed at the bottom.
Considering what he's done.
Speed. Can he get a couple of sleds behind him? Well, he's got Kyle Tress behind, that's one, but that might not be enough to make the second heat. And it's just going to be a really long, tough season for Ed.
On his start, I mean, he had the 17th. What did he have for a start? 18th best start out of 18 sleds. That's not how to do it.
He may have the 29th or 28th start because he can barely walk now. Look at him hobbling.
Look, why would they have him out here? Just for points? Well, if he's that wounded? Look at him. He's wounded.
I'm not sure how much longer the body is going to hold up. He is really suffering. 19th of our 29 starters is Japanese Yuki Sasahara, the 30-year-old, a former long-distance runner. Made the cut every race this year so far. 19th, 19th, 18th, 17th.
So look where he ran differently. He was on the other groove. 50 kilometer speed if he's lucky.
You can choose whichever way you want to start in, and
that's his whole nemesis. And he's 2 kilometers down. Plus, he's like a mile and a half down after 100 meters.
Now that was actually a slower start than Ed Smith of Great Britain, and Ed can barely walk.
Well, the sun just came out pretty bright down here.
Can't see the pictures in the booth. But that's all part of it. The temperature, the air temperature comes up, and then the frosty surface of the ice becomes a little less frosty, and the track gets quicker and quicker and quicker till lunchtime.
Anybody who's got any talent in the back of the field here could pull off a surprise, because the sun will add a little bit of a moisture to the top of the ice, and that moisture will reduce friction. Reduce friction, you go faster.
17th place. He's now ahead of Ed Smith and Kyle Tress, who is picking up a couple of spots. It's like in NASCAR, when the sun comes out on a super speedway, it changes the track. 134.4, little scratchy there, but that should see him 17th at the line, maybe 16th. It is 16th, ahead of Guggenberger by 100.
I think he's going to qualify with that. I think he's got a chance to qualify.
Anybody who's under a 110 run, I think, is quite likely to be in the field.
But you got 2 or 3 athletes, 4 athletes coming down late that I think that have a real chance to take advantage of the...
Yeah.
Of course, the sun just went behind the clouds again, but...
It'll come in and out. But the temperature is rising, and the track is getting quicker. 20 of the VAR starters to complete the field. Evan Neufeld of Canada. 27-year-old rookie from Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, Canada's flattest province. So, of course, he's ended up in mountain-based alpine sports. Why wouldn't you?
Good athlete here. Good start times.
Again, look at those quads.
Go, 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 go!
He should be a top 5 starter. It's
488, that's a great getaway.
50 kilometer speed if all goes well. 50.2, now there's good. And his first World Cup on this track.
Yep.
Very positive persona.
Zigzagging down the straight, but no skids. All right, he might have covered an extra meter of ice, but it wasn't slowing him.
Now again,
6th position.
Not bad. Now let's listen for the scratching coming in out of Nash and Dixon. Let's listen it through Horseshoe.
Silent. Great run.
Yeah.
Nice low parabola.
Yeah.
And look at the exit through Telephone and Shamrock.
98.6, decent.
Very good.
He keeps this up. He's got a chance for a top 10. He's in 7th now.
Speed is dropping just a little.
Still holding on to a top 10.
Really nice run from Evan Neufeld.
This might be his best run of his World Cup career.
Again, the speed is just slipping away. But again, 7th at the line, 8th place.
He'll take that.
By 300 behind Sergei Chudinov of Russia. That's a really, really standout slide from Evan Neufeld.
He can say that he beat Trepchikov too.
Oh, yeah.
Nice run. Sun's out again.
He's beaten 2 of the Olympic podium finishers in this one heat. Big smile, yes. Come on,
baby, come on, give him a high five.
Yeah. Martin Stukos of Latvia, our leader here by 0.2 of a second over Sunmin Yuling of Korea. 20 sliders down in St. Moritz, another 9 to go. Go fast or go home time in St. Moritz. Now trying to make the cut, Barrett Martineau of Canada, 23-year-old rookie from Calgary, a ski jump coach.
Ooh, a lot of scratching there. Speed's 48, 49 speed here. 49, yeah. All that friction before that first curve.
Oh, a little shuffling of the hips to try and stop the skids down that long, quiet straightaway. Just seen his teammate Evan Neufeld go into 8th place.
Look at the sun on the track now. You can see it coming through. It's just a ride down through the forest here in St. Moritz, from St. Moritz to Celerina. Pretty much the same direction they've been going for over 120 years.
15th at the start, 19th place now.
Yeah, a lot of scratching there. Speed.
Needs to find some speed. At the moment he's in the race. 97.3 is not great.
He needs to pick off 1 or 2 people here in the bottom.
18th place, he's moving up. He's ahead of Matthias Guggenberger, and this is pushing Kyle Tress out of the race. This is where it gets brutal.
Tap
Somebody's
there.
out. Big tap after.
That's not good. No speed at all.
Into Martineau, across the bridge to Portago. That bridge, incidentally, crosses the Cresta run. 19th spot, 1:10.08. I'm not sure a 1:10 is going to make the race. Kyle Tress is out. Ed Smith of Great Britain is on the bubble.
No problem stopping the sled because he had no speed coming up there.
Yeah.
That tap down there out of Gunter Sachs before Martineau, that's just like throwing an anchor out.
John Farrow of Australia, 32-year-old Sydney sider. Former downhill mountain bike racer. Horrendous injuries to his leg, knee, ankles in a training incident.
Yeah, he used to have good starts, but he's got ankle surgery coming up pretty quick.
Yes, he has. He's going to have a lot of surgery in the summer. Try and get some flexion.
Look, you can see him. He's not comfortable at all, that right ankle. So his start time will be deficient. 22nd best start out of 22. And again, normally he'd have a 12th or 13th best start, which would allow him to get in the top 20.
Yep. Paying for his own program this season to come out on the World Cup, paying for his coach, Brian Voigt, to come from Australia to coach him as well in Europe. This is entirely self-funded. Let's see if the Southern Cross on his helmet can guide him into the top 20. 22nd at the start, he's 21st now.
Let's listen for the sound.
Nice, quiet run. Look at him, barely moving. Tiny toe steer off the horseshoe. 98.8, good speed. Here we go. This is him into the top 20. 20th place now. Needs 134 highs, maybe even to a 135. Great lines from John Farrow. Look at that, quiet as you like. 134.6. This should see him into the top 20. Out of Martineau, Portago, up to line 17th, and that, I think, is going to
get him in the race. I think that will.
Coach Brian's going to get married during the summer, stroke our summer, their winter. This may be his last ever year on tour, I think. Well, John Farrow, that's a good run, and John, as silent as you like. All you heard was the air whistling over him.
Horseshoe, look for the left toes. Right toe, look at the left toe come down, but look at he dives out of there. The slingshot effect to the bottom part of the track. That's the acceleration point you want to use. High maximum speed can only be achieved with a perfect exit of Horseshoe. That was pretty good.
That's a good run for Farrow. That might make him in the race. Next up, 23-year-old Ronald Alderset of Switzerland, World Cup rookie, another one. Made the cut once, that was in Calgary when he was 20th place.
16th best start, speed 49 change, 49.3 low. Not good.
Home track, of course, but you don't get a huge amount of running here. The Swiss champs had to be pushed back from the Christmas New Year week till into the first year of the week of the New Year because the ice was melting away.
Winter wonderland now.
It is now, but that's only in the last week. Monday last week, the lake was not even frozen. This weekend, they're driving on it and getting ready for the polo matches and horse races. 18th place.
Oh, that's not doing.
Oh, doesn't need to get it wrong.
The speed's way off. That's going to cost him.
I'm not sure he's going to make the cut.
Well, that
18th place.
pivotal part of the track's Horseshoe. He just didn't use the optimum line. In fact, he was like threw an anchor out.
What speeds he got at the bottom? It's high 134s.
He's got a chance.
Oh, I don't think so. Going to drift away.
18th problem.
This will bump Barrett Martineau. It does. He's in 18th place. Matthias Guggenberger on the bubble.
Considering that's Michael Guggenberger, his coach. Mickey's I think he's an uncle to the Guggenberger who just got bumped or who was on the bubble. But this is how not to do it in Kreisel. Excuse me, Horseshoe.
We say Kreisel every week. Yeah.
But look at these lines, feet separated.
Right, that's $1 each. I've said Kreisel once, you've said Kreisel once. That's it, $1 each in the... That's not going to buy us much beer
here, no.
Giovanni Molisano of Italy, the 29-year-old from Cuneo. Works for the Italian Polizia Penitenziaria. 4 seasons of World Cup sliding under his belt.
Beautiful pictures there, the long straight. Now this quick left. This is quicker than most tracks to have a curve that quickly. So you have to get in, get down, get settled, get 50-kilometer speed. No, he's way off the pace. And now he's deciding to pinballs all the way down the first straightaway.
Such a long straight, but so flat.
There's no mistake allowed. You have to be so quiet on your sled.
It's one of the things, again, first time sliders, they would say it's so silent. And when it snows, that takes the noise out of the air anyway. It was yesterday, it was eerily. Way up in the woodwork, has to steer hard down into telephone, gets a rub on Shamrock as well. Oh, taps into Devil's Dyke. That's a big old corner, Devil's Dyke as well.
The bobsledders we're talking about, they can actually talk to each other going down the track.
Yeah.
They can hear the PA system on the Exeter Horseshoe. That's how quiet it is.
And that PA system, what another feature of the track it is here as well. Guido, the announcer, likes to be able to
5 languages, 6 languages,
in their own language.
The Koreans, unbelievable. They just do it all right here. The birthplace of the sport, and not a good time for the Italian.
24th place.
So there's another victim, and Hugenberger from Austria still hangs on the bubble.
Yeah. And in front of him, Yuki Sasahara and Ronald Alderset will either both be in or both be out.
Look at the pictures into the roof of Horseshoe. That's a high line that the bobsledders like it up there.
That's a Kirsten Jurgens line up there with his shoulder on the wood. Next up is Rhys Thornbury, turned 24 last year, the World Cup rookie from New Zealand. He's a weapons technician in the Royal Air Force based at Bryce Norton. Let's see if he can make the cut for the first time this season.
Speed, 22nd best start, 49 flat, 48.9. Speed is now, he stays straight. The track has a little speed on the bottom. If you can keep yourself in the perfect aerodynamic profile and line.
Raced here in the Olympic Cup before, so just half a dozen more trips down the track. 9 tenths back, 21st place on the 22nd start.
A lot of pressure into Nash and Dixon.
Practice this morning.
Way on the wrong side of that straightaway going into Horseshoe.
Practice this morning for the Inter-Services Championship on the Cresta Run. Lots of RAF, Navy and Army sliders getting their first runs into the season.
A lot of British people here, man.
Well, it's like Le Mans, it is a part of the kingdom for a few weeks every year. 24th place now, the speed is drifting away a little. Not confident enough in his lines. 131.4 is not going to do it at the bottom.
Another day of experience, though. Rail Hill. There's Ben Sanford, his coach. Trying to develop the New Zealand program.
Ben's going to join us in the booth for the women's race. 110.61 slide for Rhys Thornbury, 24th place.
Look at the lines in Horseshoe. And watch him come down too quick, and he doesn't get that slingshot effect. Comes on the run, should be on the more to the upside there.
Hi, Mom. Hi, Dad.
Martis Ducos, the Latvia race leader, with 25 slides of our 29 down here. Anna Miranda of Spain, the Barcelona native, very happy. Family here, his father, his uncle, his sister is here, and Espanyol beat Sevilla yesterday. His favourite football club, he works and trains with them in the summer. He needs to make the start here. 48.4 speed is never good.
No, I don't understand. He looks like the athlete, runs perfect technique, but his speed, it must be something to do with his technique of getting on the sledge. He should have better speed than that after the first curve.
It's a confidence-inspiring run here. Let's see if he can get it nicely through Nash and Dixon. Lined up well for Horseshoe. Hits the woodwork.
Wrong side of Horseshoe. Entered on the left. These to be in the middle or on the right. That's what brought him up to the roof. He had to steer hard.
Good hit. 96.6 instead of maybe 98 kilometers an hour. Let's see what he's got further down the track.
He had a rough time in Koenigsegg last week, boy.
1:32.8, that's not bad. He's finding speed further down. Is it enough to make the race? I don't think so. Not quite close enough. I met his family yesterday up at the top of the track. They're all thrilled to be here in St. Moritz watching firsthand instead of watching back home. 24th spot for Ander. So he fails to make the cut.
Let's see the roof. That's the roof. That's a little contact up there with the condo, and look at these unbelievable pictures. Now he's thrown from the roof down and to the right. It wasn't bad, but his feet came up a little bit.
Yep. First World Cup of the season now for Greece's Alexandros Kefalas. Lives just down the road in Chamfer, and he's now working full-time. He says, for me, sliding is now just holiday, but still wants to try and make the cut here. Greek father, Swiss mother, which is why he's been based in just down the road in Sameiden for many years, and sliding here, this is his home ice.
That means no mistakes allowed, no variance in the straightaways. Watch how he enters these curves. Watch, he should come to this curve. The next shot, he's on the wrong straightaway there.
30-year-old, I think, is likely to be Greece's only winter athlete of any shape or form.
Well, they had some alpine skiers.
Wow. Not much snow on Mount Olympus. Oh, nice high line. Let's see if he can benefit from that. Of course, he's got several years of ice sliding experience. 97.9 is quicker than quite a few we've seen.
But his start speed, that little tap there out of Devil's Dyke, won't help the cause. He's still...
needs to be 1.8 behind at the line, really, to make it into the race.
Speed, suspect.
1:33.2, good speed, but not enough to close the gap. 23rd place.
He came back at the end, but when you have the slowest start, at least he knocked off a couple people, but knocked off 5 people with the slowest start. But
Kyle Tress's run of bad form continues. He's down in 24th behind Kefalas.
And Kefalas decides to look at his neck, look at his head. I better get off the top of this curve. Good reaction.
The woodwork. See the little yellow nameplate there? That's kind of where you want to see the apex of the turn. There's Alexandros Kefalas. 2 sliders to go, still here. Hip-hop fan Dorin Velicu of Romania. 2 World Cups this year. 25th in Altenburg, 27th in Koenigsegg last week.
Speed 48, 48 speed, 49. Not bad considering that collision he had up there. And watch him drift left to right here.
Skids though. Often the scraping you'll hear is the toe just tapping on the ice.
Or the chin.
Sometimes the chin piece of the helmet, exactly right, especially at high speed.
Listen. A lot of scratching.
Very hard line and steering off very hard as well. 98.3, still had good speed.
He's right on the bubble.
He's in the race
now. He's flying now.
This is what he was doing in training.
Good speeds in the bottom we saw in training, and this might give him a chance to get in the top 20 and bump the Austrian Guggenberger out of the race. Ooh, that's not good there.
1:32.8. This is going to be very close to making
lost
it.
All his time down on a Gunter Sachs, that straightaway into Martineau.
Yeah. We always say at most other tracks you can't afford a hit when you're going very slowly. Here, you can't afford a hit out of Sachs.
Yeah, he lost it all in the last 100 meters. He was there. He was up to 19th.
And between Martineau and Portalgo, over that little bridge as well, you sometimes see a hit on the wall, and there's where the speed goes away. And
so Guggenberger lives for another day.
One more to come. Kyle Brown of the USA, 29th of our starters, from Concord, New Hampshire. Track and field athlete and ice hockey player. Last starter, let's see what he can produce. close to making the cut. 23rd place in Koenigsegg last week. Let's see if beautiful St. Moritz can work its magic for him. 10th fastest start.
50, 49 and a half. Get to the 50 magic mark. And that's, look at him, drift left to right.
Long as the runners are still going pretty straight down the ice towards us, it's just about survivable.
Last week he had a little issue with that thing called Kreisel.
Keep those toes off the ice, Kyle. Or Kylie, as he and Kyle Tress are known by the announcer here. I said to Matt Antoine, you're going to have to change your name. He said, yeah, it's inevitable. You have to become Kyle Antoine.
A lot of steering there with the body. Speed.
18th place off a 10th fastest start. He needs to be
9.5. He's got a chance if he maintains this lines.
Come on, keep your toes off the ice.
Oh, that's late there, though.
Nice and smooth. Come on, don't hit the wall. This is the exit he needs out of Gunter-Sachs curve. Good long run down the straightaway. 132 highs, 133.
He's in the race.
Oh, but too much scratching at the bottom and hits out of Martino into Portago. Going to be close.
He did.
16.
He's in the race.
Wow.
Boy, good.
First World Cup cut he has made.
And the Americans are happy with that. Both of their Kyles would have been eliminated. So Kyle Brown delivers when he needs to with the. Give him a lot of confidence for this rookie on tour. Good run.
Won't it just? First cut. Well done indeed. Very good run, and he's happy with that.
Well, here, this is out of he tried to throw it away here. He was 15th going into here. Now watch, he's trying to line up for this Portago curve, and he taps on the take-on where you get on the curve. Going to look at his body. Almost came off the slide, and that's at 75 miles an hour, 80 miles an hour.
Sticking out towards him. He makes the cut, though. He is in the race, 16th fastest. Well done. Martins Ducors of Latvia, the fastest man in our first heat. He will go last on the ice when it is at its quickest in the second. And he has a 0.2 of a second lead we've already seen this year. Having a lead doesn't necessarily mean having a win. But let's see if Ducors can get back to winning form.
He was only 800ths off the track record in the first run. And when the sun coming out, I think we got track records in the second run 6 or 7 times. World
Cup points leader leading into the second heat here in St. Moritz, Switzerland. So join us for the action. There is your field. Sunmin Jung of Korea, second place. Don Parsons, third, ahead of Nikita Tregobov, Axel Jung and Thomas Ducors. And don't forget, we have got 20 sliders of our 29 first heat starters, all going through. Tied for 19th, Yuki Sasahara and Ronald Alderset are the last 2 guys to make the field. And not getting into the race, starting with Matthias Guggenberger of Austria. The remaining guys will join the spectators trackside here in St. Moritz to watch the action in Heat 2. So join us for that. Comes up at 11:30 Central European Time, 10:30 Greenwich Mean Time. Wherever you're watching, stay with us for all the action here from stunning St. Moritz.